Good afternoon, everybody. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. I am Bradley Irving. So I'm just calling out a bit. So this one's going to be about pain. First, I've got to apologise about my last video. I had Nutrigrain, and that's the effects I go through. Whether you believe it or not, I don't really care, because it was just proven to you. That's the problem with people and narcissists. They choose the opposite. They see the facts and they choose the opposite. Okay, so I didn't post any videos the last few days because I had episodes because of what I ate. I woke up and had mint chocolate biscuits. I don't even like mint. Never have. But I ate them, and that's the problem. But at the end of the day, I've sorted it. I've fixed it. So now we're going to talk about pain. Okay, so a lot of my issues with what I eat, I've got to be very careful because I'm chemical sensitive, they say. But that's not true. See, our brain creates chemicals. So for me to be able to communicate, that's a chemical mixture in my brain making that happen to create the signal that gets sent down and allows me to speak. So that's the same with everyone, okay? So if you're having, say, something, we'll use the Nutrigrain. See, I had Nutrigrain, I was on edge, and everyone needed to die. Especially the government, unless it's the government this time, because usually it attacks Shona, so I have to run away and hide. See, Shona wasn't the problem, she was a sick girl, and I tried to help her, and I couldn't get help because the government wanted to go, "You're the problem, Bradley. You're doing this." She's not doing it. "You're doing this. You're doing that." And I was like, no, I told you what was happening in your thinking and feeling. You've seen me for 5 minutes, I've told you the truth, and you've gone, "You're a liar." And that's the agenda. Everyone's the same, but then, okay? Like, for example, when I was going through stuff as a young fella, I went through a stage where constantly going to the toilet, really thirsty, all the time, and usually that's a big sign of diabetes. But that was a normal thing for me. Every now and then I'd go through that if I didn't get my chiropractic treatments, my massage treatments, and have the right dietary. Now, Vicky took all that away from me and said, I'm the way I am because my mother died. My mother was the one that got me diagnosed. I was like that before my mother died. But she wasn't involved then. She came here. Okay? So this is my story with Mum, and then this is a bit here, okay? And then Vicky's come along here, and that's where my life started. I never existed, and that's the mental health agenda. Okay. Now, I reported it to the police and everything, but minors can't report crimes. They have to get their legal guardian. Now, they wouldn't accept it from my brother. They wouldn't accept it from my father. They wouldn't accept it from my aunties. They wouldn't accept it from anyone but Vicky. My abuser had to come down and tell Maryborough Police that I was being abused by her, otherwise it wasn't true. How dumb is Maryborough Police? They're so dumb. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a couple of good ones in there. But with that incident that happened with Albert School, that was all set up. 100% all set up. The kid got free. He didn't get charged. He got free. It was all set up. It was all a lie for Maryborough Police to look good. Nothing happened. All made up. Well, he didn't get charged, did he? He's not in jail. He's going to murder kids. He's free. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. That was all to make the police look good. And that's the sort of shit Maryborough does. But anyway, so with all that, and the example I was using, Vicky always said, we're all the same. That was her main thing. We're all the same. If you're different, you're on drugs, or you've done something to yourself, or something's happened. And like she kept saying, my mother died. So I could read and write, but because my mother died, I decided not to read and write anymore. I wasn't having seizures because there was something wrong with my body. I was faking it because my mum died. My mum was dead for a good few years before she came along. She only came along because we were buying books because I couldn't read and write and I needed special education. But that never happened, but that's how they met. Because of my special education. But that didn't happen anymore. I didn't need that. That was all a trick because my mother died when she got the ring on the finger. That's mental health.
Hi there.
Okay? She was just a bully. And Maryborough police allowed it. See, she tried to kill herself. She got in the car, she turned it on, she had it all set up and realised, oh fuck, I'm actually dying. So she busted out the door and ran into the garage door and knocked herself out. Maryborough police officer saw the paperwork and had a conversation with her, and Brad was such a bad boy. He wouldn't call her mum, he wouldn't clean up stuff when she said, Brad, pick my phone up. Well, of course I'm not going to pick it up. You just did that on purpose. But men are dumber than women. That's the narcissistic female. And anyway, she kept pushing her agenda. And what it came to was I was a diabetic. It was nothing else in my life has ever happened. There was nothing wrong with me. I was lying. My mum died, so that's the problem. And then my diet was changed to her diet. My lifestyle changed to her lifestyle. My appointments gone, so the seizures came back, the headaches came back, the bowel problems came back, the attitude came back. Medical records were in the hospital waiting. No one would go get them for me. But Maryborough Hospital wouldn't release them either. I had to fill out paperwork for my own fucking shit. But anyway, so when it came to that, Vicky's a diabetic, so we're all the same. Mental health, remember? Mental health. So there was nothing else happening in my life, but because I was going to the toilet a lot, she did that. I'm really thirsty, I can't quench my thirst. She couldn't quench her thirst, she was a diabetic. So, wow, super genius. But I wasn't. In that year, she made me go for a diabetic test 10 times. Wouldn't let me go get bone therapy. Took the money off my father and always told him she took me to my appointments. But there was never evidence and I never said she did. I always said, no, I never went to an appointment. My next saw, I need it. Can I have the money so I can do it myself? I wasn't allowed the money. Vicky had to do it. But Vicky only took the money. And then screamed and shouted every time someone said, Brad hasn't had his appointment. I wasn't her kid. I wasn't her problem. I needed to deal with myself. But the money had to go to her. Narcissistic abuse. Theft. That's all she did was steal and lie and cheat. She never worked. She stayed in her bedroom all her life. Came out and abused me all the time. And the police wouldn't do anything. But when they had a chance to arrest me, they fucking jumped on it. But what laws did they break? They listened to a mentally ill woman that chased a minor around a store. The evidence was I had a bag, I had the shirt, I had the money to pay for it. But I was chased out the shop by an abuser. Number 2, she lied 6 times to the police officer, but he still did what she wanted. Now, at the end of the day, when a child commits a crime, whether they're 17 or fucking 4, doesn't matter. If they're a minor, they don't get charged. That was the law. Anyway, this police officer took it into his own hands. By law, they've got to contact your guardian. He couldn't get a hold of my guardians. Vicky doesn't answer the phone. She don't know. They can wait for her. She's God. She's not. She's nothing. She's a filthy monger. Like, she's in big trouble at the moment. See, I tried warning them. I told them, you can't pretend to be a podiatrist when you're a podiatrist assistant. You can't buy a business and run that as a podiatrist. That's fraud. That's a scam. You're in big trouble. And she got caught for it. Now she's going, I'm the victim. No, you're not. You intended this. You didn't expect consequences for your choices and actions. I hope she goes to jail. I really do. Well, she was impersonating a medical professional. She made her choices. I tried to tell them not to do that. She can't do that. She's not a doctor. Comes down to narcissistic personality. They did something you did, so they're you. But it doesn't work backwards unless you're a problem. And that's the problem they had. But anyway, so with the pain and everything, see, when I was younger, my mother did the job, and I'm real. I exist. I have real eyes. I have real ears. I see things. I remember things. I know things. But apparently, to people like Vicky, you exist when you're looked at. And the only reason why you're being looked at is because you need to do something. Okay? So, if I was the narcissist and you walked into my room and you were my abuser, you were here to clean my room. And if you try to talk to me, I'll go, what the fuck are you doing? Huh? Till you do your job. And then I'll fuck you off because you don't exist anymore. You only exist to do what I need you and want you to do for my power of control. Otherwise, you don't exist. Okay? So that's the big problem. It's mental health. Anyway, so as a young boy, I used to go into Maryborough Hospital. See, all the treatment was there. I existed. I went through it, so I knew what I was going through. And I used to get put in a machine that held my neck. And I would sort of run around Maryborough Hospital to stretch out my neck and stuff. Run around like this and had like a cage thing. And that's the treatment I was getting. And, Vicky said no to that. I wasn't allowed my treatments anymore, but that sort of went away after a time. It wasn't a permanent thing. But I connected, hey, when I got in that machine, that pressure in my neck went away. And then I also took knowledge from the chiropractic adjustments I used to go to. I'd lay down on a table, they'd put a bit of material around here, and they'd hold on to it, and they'd bang! And your head would go, it scared the shit out of you the first time it happens, but it feels so good. Now, as a 15-year-old, I was like, yeah, well, that's what I need. That's what's happening right now. So I went and got a rope, tied it up around the tree, set it so there was no way I was going to get hurt. Because the rope, the way I had it set, was when I landed, the rope was loose. So when I landed and went like that, that's when it went tight. And like I just did then, just cracked my fucking neck. But it didn't work. The branch broke. And then through school, I had a counsellor that really didn't like me. But yeah, anyway, he kept pushing that it was suicidal because there's no way a 15-year-old boy could be smarter than a 30-year-old man. It's just not possible. He's a counsellor. Anyways, another counsellor talked to him and said, no, I've actually been working with Brad for a long time. He was at West with me. He was at Central with me. He was doing real well at Central. But Vicky took all his stuff away from him. And that was his treatment. So yeah, I believe he did that, and I don't think there was an intention to kill himself. He was trying to get rid of his pain. You feel something about it, and you need to let that go. Anyway, that guy ended up getting fired because he caused a lot of problems, and I'm pretty sure he did some inappropriate things to girls, but it was covered up by Maryborough High. A lot of things were. See, Maryborough is the town of cover up the crimes. But anyway, so back to the pain and the issues. It was all to what I ate. Really, the poison in the food and the water. Like, there's no need for chlorine or fluoride in the water. If the piping system's not efficient, go back to the one that was. Stop changing things to your feelings and stick to things that actually have factual evidence and work. That's how things work. Anyway, to the pain. So the chronic pain. I was folded. Okay? At first, it was this leg. Move this out here so you can see my leg. At first, it was this leg. Oh, fuck. I can't go much further back. Shit. So I wouldn't have even been able to do that. Oh, you just can't really see. Anyway, so this leg went like that. So every time I walked, this leg was sideways. So that's how I walked in 2017. But that was normal. That was my body. That was normal for my body. No, it wasn't. It was just a lazy piece of shit didn't want to do their job. Committed fraud, corruption, treason. which is all Maryborough government officials seem to do. So anyway, with everything, I found out that I went through, I didn't need to. See, if someone did their job, my body would be fine. I wouldn't have a problem. But instead of doing their job and allowing narcissists to work on people when they've known about the personality types since the early 1800s, that means it's all been set up intentionally. So that's a crime. Okay? So at the end of the day, to fix your pain, you need to stop eating from Coles, Woolworths, and the supermarkets. You need to get organic food, and you need to buy your meat from the butcher. Okay? Even that's getting rough these times. So, yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it. You eat properly, clean your ears out, you'll be fine. And that was the whole problem with my life. Someone didn't do their job and said Brad's the problem because Brad went back to get the help he needed. And I ended up doing it myself because Maryborough Hospital wouldn't help me. They kept slandering me. Tried to report the crimes, but it's not a crime if the government does it. Double standards, narcissistic personality and agenda, mental health. Alright, and anyway, so the Greens, why aren't they in jail? They burnt down and tried to murder every Australian animal and being in 2017. They don't exist. Put them in jail for the crimes they committed. Liberal, Labor, Greens, already done Greens, Liberal, Labor, they're the same. Alright, now let's talk about council and their towpaths. They're supposed to clean them. So council owes every Australian $55,000. Yep, for the last 10 years. Well, that's my time. If I'm a council worker, I can charge up to $100 an hour for mowing a lawn. So I'm getting $100 an hour for mowing the lawn. Then I'm going to take my time like they do. So my towpath, that was 2 mower lengths wide, 5 metres long, took me 6 hours. Okay? Took me 6 hours. It was a big day. So that's $600 per week for the towpath. That was just a small one at Sussex. Then I went to Kent Street. It was a little bit bigger. So it took me 8 hours. It took me a day to do it. So there's $800 a week because I had to do it weekly. I lived on Kent Street, main town. Had to look good. Then it was Aldershot. See, that one was bigger. And I had to do the other side because the council wouldn't come clean the bushland. So that took me 2 days, 48 hours. So $4,800 I'm owed for the 9 years of being at Aldershot per week, per fortnight. Yeah. And then you've got Tuggham. I'll let them have that one easy. They only owe me $500 for the year. Okay? Because there wasn't much there for me to mow. And I didn't do it. And then we got where I am now, Point Vernon. I pay someone else to do it. Because I'm sick. So, 10 grand. 10 grand. Because it's taken out of my medical costs to cover something that they should be doing. So it's 10 grand per mow. And that's fair. That's how things should work. And for you to go, no. They're getting paid to do a job, they're refusing to do a job. That's corruption, treason, fraudulent activity, impersonation of a government official. They're all federal crimes. So we need to follow the real law and stop listening to the narcissistic law because Albanese's broken it already. He should be in jail for his hate speech. So should the Green representative. She's a racist pig towards white people. I've never got any white privilege. I'm white. I am the definition of white. White hair. White face, blue eyes, white chest. Oh, fuck. I don't look too good. I look starved. I need a sandwich. I do, but it's hard to get food. See, the other day I had Coles bread. Guts were fucked. Just bread from Coles. Gotta buy bread from a bakery. You can't, because they don't add additives in it. There's no additives in it. I'm chemical sensitive, so I can't have that stuff. And I've had that information since I was a child. Mother had it all sorted. Vicky came along, destroyed it, said no, Brad's a liar, and kept screaming until people did what she wanted. And it's like, every time I tried to speak, it was, you're a child, you shouldn't be speaking to me like that. I'm talking over her because she's screaming, saying I did something I didn't do. She's an abuser, she's doing this to a child. But Maryboro's people wanted to keep her happy. Not protect the child, they wanted to keep her happy. And only a small group of Maryborough noticed that, hey, hang on, she changes her mind more than she changes her undies. She just said Brad did something and contradicted herself. And that's the life I had with her. So I was barely ever home, but I had somewhere to go. So I can fit into that group, but I can't do certain things that group can do. See, I had somewhere to go when my dad was around. If my dad wasn't around, I couldn't be there. I was abused, I was assaulted sexually, physically, emotionally. I had things thrown at me. My food was removed. There was only rotten spaghetti because I didn't like spaghetti. And it wasn't the fact I didn't like spaghetti. I'm not supposed to eat red meat. It was written in my doctor's report. But she said that's a lie. I did that. I faked it. I manipulated the fucking doctor as a 5-year-old boy. This is their mindset. The child does everything they did. The child needs to be punished for their crimes so they can get away with it. Again with the Christianity. Corruption, treason, murdering, lying pieces of shit that support pedophiles. All religion's the same. You're not supposed to be religious, you're supposed to be spiritual. Because spirituality is true. Okay? So at the end of the day, all my pain issues came from wax. And what happens with pain is your body will shrink. See, I ended up being like this. I ended up being 4 foot. But medical professionals were telling me that was normal for me. So they lied. Committed fraud, corruption, treason, attempted murder. Maryborough Hospital, attempted murder. Every doctor needs to be charged with attempted murder. And let's be honest, every time you've gone to Maryborough Hospital and said, I don't want your drugs, I want help, I want my body fixed, they've gone, oh, you're a drug addict. We can't help you then. So they're not even listening. That's how dumb and arrogant they are. But anyway, so that's that. That's everything done. And now we can get on to the serious stuff. Okay? So don't buy food from Coles, don't buy food from Woolworths. If it's doing something to me, it's definitely doing something to you. It's just not targeting your DNA yet. See, the way DNA works is it's different in everyone. 2 Africans can have a baby that looks like me. It's happened. There's tribes in Africa with white kids running around. But they're not white. They come from black people. Because that's how DNA works. DNA is very tricky. Okay? So, yeah, that's that. All done and dusted. Glad that rubbish is over. The pain was pretty much... Yeah, I got to talk about it better. I didn't really talk about pain and fucking Vicky again. But yeah, that's all over. That's all done and dusted. Now we can get to the reality. So what I went through was sinus issues, balance issues, headaches, my body wouldn't settle down. I had a lot of lag with pain, so if I fell over and hurt myself, I wouldn't know until I'm going to bed. They call that ADHD and autism. It's a lie. There's no such thing.
Hi there.
You need to change your diet, have an organic, healthy diet, and you need to go get Bowen therapy to get your body realigned. An ear candle. All my problems are gone now. I haven't had headaches for 3 years. The worst I've had is pinching in my neck under here, but that's when I eat stuff I'm not supposed to. Like the mint biscuits I fucking ate. That was a spiritual attack, that was. Well, I hate mint. Mint is... Bleh. Never liked it. Never have. I used to be the kid that got the mint ice cream in the pack and I'd throw it at the person that gave it to me. I'd open it and go, fuck mint. I was a little shit. But they learned real quick not to give Brad mint because Brad was going through stuff where he would say, no, I don't like that, I don't want that. And he was given exactly what he said he didn't want. And he was sick of being polite, so he'd push it away and go, no, I don't want that. like that. Because it would be 10 times he said he didn't want it, and then they put it in his face and his hand. He goes, I don't want it! And then it's, he attacked me, I'm a victim. He just bashed me. Oh, he's louder than me. Oh, biology doesn't exist. Oh! And that's how they go. They're fucking mentally insane, but they seem to be able to go, policeman, I'm scared, and the policeman will do his job, which isn't his job to prove. Because if they were scared, they'd leave. But they don't leave. That's visual facts. That's like me saying, I'm not holding a water bottle. I'm not holding a water bottle. Now, yous all got charged because you said I did. And it hurt my feelings. Yous are all in jail. Okay? That's the reality. And it's ridiculous. But... oh, man. So, at the end of the day, no one knows nothing. I know everything, and I'm smarter than them, and I can't read and write. My whole life proves everything they say doesn't exist. That's why they try to keep me silent. And as you notice, I put up a rant about how my channel wasn't getting views. I've got 2 views on every fucking video now. Yet I'm not attacked. Yeah, well, everyone's facing their consequences. Might not be while they're alive. Some of them might kill themselves and get away, as they think. They're gonna cop it worse. Like Sandra, she's gone way past hell. Hell exists, yeah. It's like a detention centre. It really is. You're so manipulated and lied to. It's ridiculous. But anyway, so this is all done. All my issues. Like, I couldn't sleep at night. I could not sleep because I was overheating. But no one would tell me what was wrong. There was nothing wrong. That was normal. But if that was normal, everyone in my life would be going through the exact same thing as me. Because that's what normal means. Everyone goes through it. Like, it's normal to wear clothes. I'm wearing clothes. This is normal. Right? You understand? Yeah, anyway. Oh, I need to get medication. Yeah, that was the biggest problem ever since I got put on medication. Drugs. Just attacks, narcissistic attacks. Just constant narcissistic attacks. Anyway, so that's the way that is. That's how it's said that way. And that's the way they want it done. But they pick and choose who goes through. And like I said, I'm censored, none of my videos got any views, and then all of a sudden I stated the facts, and now I'm getting views. Bit sus. A bit of a coincidence? I think not. I think I'm right, and I know all, and they know nothing. And that's the facts. People don't like it because it's a white man, and they want to be that person, but you don't get to be that person by feeling something. You have to do the work. You don't get to go, I did that. And then when someone says, show me the evidence, and you go, oh, walk away. Well, no, you didn't do that. You're a liar. Now you're a lying piece of shit. And no one's going to trust you. And that's how life goes. But anyway, so the chemical castration, what does it do to men? Well, men like me, it makes us attack our partners. Never been angry at my child. Never had a problem with my child. But certain foods I have, Shona's a filthy slut. She is a fucking whore. She's shagging a dirty boy. But she's never done anything. Like, I'll just eat something, then all of a sudden, about 20 seconds later, before you go, I am bullshit! It takes 7 seconds for your food to get from your palate to your guts. And it's starting to digest within 7 seconds. So you know. So don't listen to idiots that tell you otherwise, because they don't know. Tell them to go to biology like I did. All I've got is just from the schooling I was forced to do. And then it's all changed. See, back in my time, there was pre-trade made for people like me. But unfortunately, because of narcissistic mums, other kids got it, so they had to make another pre-trade class. And because they weren't able to fill it fully, because all the other populars got it and got a free life that could read and write, well, they could read and write. They shouldn't have been in that class. It was for kids that couldn't read and write. And we got neglected. We got thrown into another group while the populars got the luxurious free life. Half of them never did anything with their lives. They all got jobs with their families. So the people that couldn't do that got their choices taken off of them, given to people that were able to do it. It was ridiculous. And it was all because of a certain principal that took over. Miss Mustard was really bad. She was a sexist pig. Still is, probably. I had nothing but problems with Miss Mustard. She'd be talking to Vicky all the time, and, oh, Brad's not doing this. And then I'm there going, that's because I'm ADHD, autistic, dyslexic, literate, can't read and write. No, you're not. Vicky said you're not. Vicky's not my mother. She's my abuser. No, she's not. She's your mum. You need to show her more respect. Give me the birth certificate, dickhead. Where's the birth certificate? Then they get mad. And that's the way I was as a child. They didn't like it. They fucking hated it because I was smarter than them. I outsmarted these women and they were so much smarter than men. But they're not. And those sort of women need to be attacked. They need to have their rights removed. They need to be locked away and used as slaves because that's all they can do. No. Because if they don't get treated like that, they treat little people like that. And they play victim. So no rights for them type of person. Like at the end of the day, it all comes down to a personality. And if we put a personality order in, everything will change. The right thing will start happening. Common sense will be more in the world than feelings. Okay, so that's all that done. It's all done. So glad that's fucking over. Alright, so a lot of things I've said, I've baited the police. Yeah, fucking oath. Well, by law, they've got to get Harvey Bay police to come talk to me. They're not going to do that. They're going to come and use baiting tactics and try and stand over me, intimidate a disabled man. So I just wait for them to do their due because they think they're so smart and so tough and better than everyone. And when they come here and tell me I need to remove my videos and this and this and this, I'll ask them if they've done anything about the robo-debt. Because the original court order was not followed in 2021. Now go do your job, and then I'll shut the door in their face. And if they break an enter, I'll defend myself. Because they're not supposed to be here. They're public servants. They do what I say, not what they want and feel. That's the narcissistic personality and mental health. Okay? And honestly, it comes from brown hair. Dark hair, dark eyes. They're the worst. Well, that's the Roman race. Alright, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the Romans. They turned up out of nowhere. Okay? So you've got all these Greeks, you've got Atlanteans, you've got the French, you've got all these other people over here and all these other people over here, and they've got ancient histories that go back to the very start of creation. Then you've got Romans. They've got Zeus, but it's not Zeus. Then they've got someone else, but it's not Thor. But it's Thor, just his name's not Thor. They've changed his name. And that's the Roman religion. And then it went to Christianity because they followed the French. But the French were overtaken by the Dracon reptilians. That's why they all have weird faces. I'm all phlegmy. I've just gotten congested. So yeah, at the end of the day, it affected everything. It stopped me from being able to do anything. I couldn't even think. Oh, hang on, I've got to deal with that. Sorry, my throat was a bit... Got phlegm stuck in the back of my throat. I'm going to have the ear candle again. That's alright. That's all part of it. So, if you could start doing it yourselves, that'd make it very easy for me. Oh shit, my eyes are changed colour. So yeah. At the end of the day, stop listening to the government because it doesn't know anything. Medical professionals are not medical professionals because they need to prove that they've healed someone or cured a disease. They haven't cured a friggin' thing. Well, they couldn't do anything besides narcissistically attack me. See, the thing is, I was a really trying child. I wanted to be so much. I wanted to be a big part of the world. But my body let me down, and my reading and writing abilities always let me down. That's just discrimination. Well, it comes down to my race, and that the Romans have been trying to cover it up for a long time because they don't like us because we're better than them. Well, we don't hurt people, we don't control people, we don't abuse people, we're not greedy. We're not a greedy race. It doesn't mean there's not bad in us. There's bad in everything. Good and bad in everything. That's the problem. That's why we need that narcissistic personality test. Because that'll cut all the ones out that go, I'm the victim, and refuse to do their job and put people in the too hard basket. See, the problem there is once someone in a medical professional refuses to do their job, that's corruption, treason, contempt, fraud, impersonating a medical professional. That's jail. Their life's over. But if it's a narcissist, it gets covered up like Maryborough Hospital does, Maryborough Police do all the time. Like, they covered up my hit and run. They covered up the last assault in 2023. I was having a seizure. But no, I wasn't. I was on drugs. Luke said so. Constable Luke said so. He's a dropkick piece of shit, he is. Come at me, cunt. I'm not sick now. I'll kill you dead for corruption, which is my legal right. I'm sorry if you are offended by words. Go to mental health. You're mentally unstable. Someone should be able to say the word, Kill Bill! And you not go, ah! But we can't, unless it's the person you want it to be. Okay? And that's how the narcissistic agenda, and they pick and choose when it feels best. So you could be the gold man, and then all of a sudden you just said no once. Now you can't get a job, you can't get a diet, you're not getting your selling. And that's how it happens. And that's bullying. That's harassment. That's criminal activity. But Maryborough Police don't want to do anything about women, or toxic men. Because remember, in 2023, there was a couple of things that happened. There was a woman that was shot dead by a mentally ill man that was causing her and her family problems for years. Maryborough Police would not do anything. She ended up getting shot dead in her own, and he was wearing her lingerie. She came home to a break and enter, and then got shot dead while he was wearing her lingerie. Nothing happened to that man. Just making that clear, nothing happened. They covered it all up because she'd been reporting his crimes for years, but they didn't feel it was a crime. They didn't want to do anything. Now she's dead. So that's Maryborough Police that are responsible for that. And then there was another hit in Maryborough. The guy that was hit was known to be a woman basher and a bit of a kiddly toucher. So someone shot him with a homemade gun. They shot him in the head and the chest. Chest and head. In the heart and in the brain. Maryborough Police wrote that off as a suicide. He shot himself in the head and then shot himself in the heart. Maryborough Police said that. No one did anything. No one said anything. Maryborough knows who did that dude in. They do. And they'll protect that bloke. There's some that are really upset that he did it. But someone had to do it. The police wouldn't do it. Well, that's the point. Police want to get paid for doing their job, but they're refusing to do their job when they need to do their job. Now they're walking around bashing people in Maryborough? Isn't there a gang law? Aren't you supposed to do things?
Hi there.
and notify everyone that you're going to be doing things if you're wearing more than 2 people wearing the same colours? Isn't that the gang law? One rules for one, different rules for the other. Bikies were the real police. Now they're gone. Look at how bad the world's gotten. How quickly it got fucked because of that bikie law. Come on, you people aren't dumb. I'm not going to be talking dummy to you anymore. The people are not dumb. The brainwashed are, but they're brainwashed. They're sick. They need help. You can't judge them. You can't put them down. Unfortunately, well, it's like you going to jail because I gave you a knife and then stepped on it. I put the knife in your hand and then you go to jail for murder. But everyone saw me do it. But the police officer that you got didn't like the look of you. Felt that you did it. 250 billion statements, 5 different videos stating that you did not do that and I killed myself and tried to set you up. Okay? But because this police officer's fucking this judge, that judge is going to do what the police officer said. So now, old mate is in jail for the rest of his life because of what I did. Not what he did. He didn't do nothing. He was just a poor bugger in the wrong place, wrong time. So now, the way that works, just so people understand, because the creator's the boss man, right? So when you do shit like that, he sits out there and goes, all right, you all know that was wrong. And you just shut the fuck up. All right, your spiritual life is gone. You've got nothing here, mate. And then when you die, you go up and go, oh, I'm going to heaven. Yeah, woo. Then you meet him and go, no. So there was this time, mate. This guy set up this bloke. And this bloke got to jail. And now he's dead. He's up here in heaven. Because he was murdered for something he didn't do. Because you pushed your way. And you were fucking with the judge. So you were married too. So that's not good. That's cheating. We don't like people that do that to their spouse. So you go that way. But I live in there. I was an angel. No, you're not an angel anymore. Don't you remember Lucifer's rule? Lucifer's story. So down to Sam. Good old Sammy. He was first the angel, just an angel, of beauty and prosperity. Then he became the archangel of music, beauty, prosperity, and health. Then he became the archangel of consequence. And he fell in love. He was manipulated by the devil's daughter. And he raised an army to wipe out everything good. And just as he was about to succeed, he realised, this isn't right. I've done this. This is my fault. So he stood up in the middle of the battlefield, turned around, and became Lucifer Morningstar and wiped everything out. Every evil existence in that spiritual era, in that realm, was wiped, including him. Lucifer Morningstar died. He did not exist anymore until the time of the fall. He didn't exist. He was dead. He killed Michael to save the world. Because Michael was the bad guy. He was manipulating everyone. And Lucifer got manipulated. But what did he do? He destroyed every single evil piece of shit there. Then when the fall came, that was part of the fall. Some angels didn't get wiped out completely. Some fell into the reality world. physical reality. That's how they were hit. They lost their wings. They lost everything. I was not part of the fall. And then the Creator needed someone brought back. He needed someone that was pure, that was light. So he altered and bring back Lucifer Morningstar. And that's who your Jesus character was. Lucifer Morningstar, brought back from death. He was dead. But that whole Jesus, that's all a lie too. It's a manipulation, okay? So if I ran down the street to a house fire and saved everyone, Bradley did that. Not Jessica, Bradley, okay? But 30 years down the track, someone felt it was a Jessica that did that. Not a man, it was a female called Jessica. So they're pushing that, and they push it and push it. And then someone comes up and goes, hey, no, that didn't happen. That was actually my grandfather that did that. And I'd appreciate you stop saying it was some woman that didn't even exist in that time. So, yeah, here's the evidence. It was my father. We got the photos and everything and the sign thing, and you're trying to push that it's this person. So, yeah, and that's how things are supposed to work. But when it gets to a certain system, if you've got the agenda in there, that person won't be able to show their evidence. They won't let them. They'll take it off them, and then he never presented anything. They just lie. Okay? So, yeah. That's that. That's done. We're all done. We can talk about truth now, history, and what's actually happening. So stop eating from Coles, stop eating from Woolworths, stop buying from any supermarket. If it's not organic fruit and it's not organic meat, don't eat it. Don't touch it. And then after a while, there's nothing they can do because they're not getting the money to do what they do. Okay? So, yeah. That's all done and dusted. We're done. Now I can go back to the proper stuff and talk about the truth. The absolute truth of everything. Because we're not sick, we're poisoned. We're being poisoned. Have been for years. But because I got stuck, I wasn't able to do anything about it. Now I've had to heal my body before I can go for my walk. Because they're energy creatures. They read energy. Sorry, I was trying to get the word out. Yeah, I've been sitting for too long. I need to get up and walk. My groin is on fire. It just feels like it's on fire. That's nerve issues. It's because I've been sitting for too long. My leg's fucked because Queensland Health found out in 2013 that putting casts on people shrunk their legs or their arms. But instead of making amends and fixing the issue they started, they've ignored it and left it be. And every time I went in to get help with my fucking hips and my legs, it was normal for me. That was fraud for the nurse and the doctor. They didn't want to do their job, so they shouldn't be getting paid. That's fraud. But if you haven't noticed, if you commit fraud, lie, cheat, bash people, use people, like fuck, there was a guy called Isaac. Him and his friends bashed someone in a wheelchair. The cunt's got a job, he's got a family. But then there's other people like me that can't get a job because we can't read and write. But he can bash people in a wheelchair and have a life. What the fuck? And society supports that. How fucking grubby is that? Yeah, fucking pedophile, disabled bashing lovers. So at the end of the day, certain people are getting consequences for what they didn't do because police felt something or someone else felt something. Oh, I don't care. You shouldn't have done the wrong thing. Come fight me. See what happens. I'll defend myself. I can now. And that's my legal right. That's everyone's legal right. So if someone's coming up to you aggressively, you can kill them in self-defense. Look, if someone can rape a child and get away with it with learning disabilities, I can murder someone in street and get away with it because I have learning disabilities. But I'm not a piece of shit and I'm not going to take advantage of that. Because that doesn't work for me, because I'm not the evil agenda. Okay? And that's what it comes down to. Good versus evil. I'm the good guy, and they say I'm the bad guy. But they can never put me away. They couldn't put me away. They couldn't get me charged. There's false charges there, but medical issue used against me, so I'll be taking that back to court soon myself. I just got to wait for the right time. Well, the 31st of March I was pushed out, so that caused stress because public servants aren't allowed to do that. They do what they're told. So, yeah, I'll try that again and see how we go. But yeah, anyway, that's that. That's all the rubbish. Don't have to talk about that shit anymore, and we can talk about the truth. I'm glad that's over with. Then we get to go. Soon we'll be able to go looking for the thylacine and the panthers and the yowies, because they're all real, but they don't go near narcissists because narcissists are greedy. They're selfish. They're entitled pieces of shit. Okay, so all they think about is themselves. That's why they can't see them. And that's why they get so angry about it, because the first person that gets a real photo and proper evidence of a yowie is going to be a billionaire. Narcissists don't think that's fair, because that should go to them. But then reality kicks in and goes, did you do it or did old mate do it? Oh, he didn't do it. I don't believe that. And that's how they go. They just get real fucking stupid and nasty. They're naysayers. Okay? And they're running the world. See, Albanese's corrupt. He's terrorist. He's not our government. And the police should be arresting him for treason and terrorist attacks. So, what's going on? Queensland police, Australian police is corrupt. So don't listen to them. Stop pulling over when they pull you over. They've got no power. They haven't done their job. It's just a man in a fake costume. That's all it is. Get my leg. Gotta get the knots. Oh, right. Oh, bloody knots. And that was all my issue. I just needed a massage, a root, and a really good feed. But because I wasn't allowed it, and then when I told the person that was involved to fuck off, and then the police got involved by her mum, not her mum, which is conflict of interest, because there was a time my brother was trying to go to court about his ex, and he couldn't go to court. They wouldn't let him, right? See, his evidence was the same as hers. She was allowed to use her mum and dad and her brothers and sisters. But he got told that that's conflict of interest. He's not allowed to use his brother. He's not allowed to use his father. He's got to go to a random on the street and get them to write a document about what they saw of the abuse his wife was doing. Yeah. And my brother's that dumb, he let it all go. So, they all think they're smarter than me. They've always been smarter than me because Brad went, So they were smarter. Brad couldn't read and write. They were smarter. Where are you cunts? Hoping I fucking make it so yous can get out. But I'm not helping yous. No, yous didn't help me. That's not how the world works. If you treat someone like shit, they're going to treat you like shit back. If you don't respect them, they don't respect you. There's none of this false, respect me, I don't have to do it to you. There's none of that. That's a narcissistic personality and agenda, and they're entitled pieces of shit. And they can't work because they don't. They just look good. They pretend to look good and pretend to work. So that's fraud, corruption, treason, contempt. It just keeps going on. So just fucking do something about it. You can push me out. You can push me out. And the further I get out, the better it'll be. I'm just waiting for the Maryborough Police to turn up on my doorstep. Because they think I'm dumber than them. I'm the dumb one. They're the smart one. They know better. No. It's the same fucking concept, but they've never been able to put me in jail. And every time they've gotten me charged, they've used a medical issue against me and refused to let me speak. And because the person that was supposed to speak for me did what they said instead of what I said, there was a problem. But anyway, that's it. We're all done with that. That took me a while. It's because I had stuff I shouldn't have ate, and I was edgy and touchy, and you can't control your vocal cords. But I'm getting there. I've fixed 90% of it. Now we're ready to go for my walk, and then come back and save the world. Well, the ones I want to save. There's a big lot of yous. I'm not. Yous are fucks. You made your choice. Okay? So what happens when you make your bed? You lay in it, right? So that's the same with your choice. You make a bad choice, you're going to have to lay with it. And that's what a lot of people have done because they were too worried about what they got instead of what someone else got. See, with my life, it was, no, that's theirs. You can't take that off them. That's theirs. No, that's mine. This is yours. But it was even. And that's what they came with. That's what they came with. That's what I came with. And that's fair. Right? And they didn't like that. They wanted to be able to take mine and take theirs. And have all of it. And us be happy about it. And that's the agenda. They want to take till you're dying and then go, well, you've got nothing to give me. See you later. And that's the agenda. Personality type, it's evil and it's criminal activity. There's literally laws stopping everything from happening. And because the police don't want to do their job, we're having trouble. So at the end of the day, Australia doesn't have police. Liberal, Labor and Greens aren't active politicians. They've all committed fraud, corruption and slander, treason. Pauline Hanson is our government. We just need to stop listening to them. Okay, so what you're doing is listening to the tantrum of a child instead of letting the adult do its job. Okay, so that's enough. That's 57 minutes for this video. I'll go. Alright. Peace out. Cheers. Enjoy. And I'll be back to talk about truthful stuff, the anatomy, the biology, just basic stuff. It's nothing extreme. It's just basic stuff that can help you with your everyday life. And it's cool. And then we're going to talk about ancient history and all that sort of stuff. And once I've finished the talks, I'm going to go out and take us to the train tracks where the carnival, circus, whatever you call it, crashed out near Aldershot. So with that, there's a few things, like there's military that brought cougars. We had cougars in the military, but cougars are different. Some did have panthers, jaguars, and the circus did have panthers, spotted leopards, jaguars. They're similar, but they're slightly different. But look, to be completely honest, I don't think it's a panther. I think it's the Thylacoleo, and it's mated with some of the jungle cats that were brought here from Australia, from other countries, and that's what we have now, this big black cat that's getting around that has odd claws and is fucking huge. Like, it's not a normal big cat. Like, yeah, these things are bigger than Dobermans, Rottweilers. Like, that's the basic size you see them at. But you've got to catch them and you've got to get the right government official, because the council keeps saying no, but they won't look at the substance. Like, I had a funnel web spider in a fish tank at home, waiting for council, arguing with council to come investigate this animal, the insect, because it's a funnel web spider, right? And they can kill people. We're in Queensland. We don't have funnel webs here. We got the Queensland funnel web, but it's slightly different. And this was a New South Wales funnel web. A deadly motherfucker. And, yeah. Could not. I even ended up taking the tank in to council. They wouldn't let me in the room. Oh, we don't need to see that. Go away, get away. It's just a spider. Fuck off. No, don't want to look at it. Go away, go away. And they got real nasty about it. Because they have to do their job, and narcissists do nothing but look good. And then when you start saying, hey, this isn't being done, he's mentally ill, he's attacking his victim, and they carry on like idiots. Okay? So, I've got to stop because this video's gone on for an hour. And I'm done. Alright? We're done. All done. Everything done. Okay? So, like I said, I'm just putting everything out there. So, when the system goes, oh, Bradley Irving's mentally ill, he tried killing himself, he had mental health all his life, he had this, his mum died, he had trouble at school, he did this. Well, I've already told you what they were going to say, and I've already told you the truth. I had medical issues, my mother diagnosed, the government killed my mother, they refused to do their job, they refused to help us, they slandered, they belittled us, they took our education from us, every time we asked for help we got attacked. And that's Maryborough government. I haven't even been able to get my taxes back from Queensland Health from 2021. They will not release them unless I join an app. I don't work for them. I'm medically retired. I don't need to do what they want me to do. I need my paperwork. So they print my paperwork off and give it to me. Simple. Done. Refused. I need to do that. I'm not getting paid to do your job, mate. You do your job. Okay, so, yeah, all done and dusted. Sweet to go. Oh, yeah, and I sorted out my GoPro. I was finally able to do this. See, when I was younger, I was the tech-savvy one. I used to do all the wiring for the cars in my family. I used to set up everyone's phones. I used to help my dad. I used to do it for my stepmother. I used to help uncles and aunties, friends. And then I got to a stage where I couldn't even turn on a phone. My brain wouldn't let me do it. But that was my fault. I was on drugs. But they could never get drugs until they put me on them in 2020. Like, they put me on them in 2017, but it was hey, here's the letter, nothing works for this kid, and it's illegal to make him suffer. That's a criminal offence to have someone suffering in pain. But yeah, I got the GoPro set up, all good, just got to get the right case and the right setup so I can carry it. But yeah, we're all ready, we're all done, that's all over with. Yeah. So, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy my little spaz attacks. And I hope some of the information I give has helped. Look, unfortunately at the end of the day, I'm going to be censored. They're going to continue to censor me until I go get my spiritual abilities and my spiritual weapon. But once I do that, see, this is the thing with the dummies. They think they know everything and I'm really nice. But you're forcing someone to show you power and then you want them not to use that power on you? What? Like, how dumb are you? You're telling me what I say doesn't work, and then if I was me, I had my powers, and then when I come up with my powers, you're going to expect me to be nice? You're dead, cunt. I'm going to torture you. I'm going to keep you alive for 50 billion years while I'm shredding your skin off your body. Well, you should have done the right thing instead of expecting someone to do your job. You got paid to do that job, not them. You do your job. That's fraud. That's corruption. Treason. You're dead. I'm going to kill you all. Well, that's how it happens. Like, you're writing a story expecting someone else to follow it that doesn't read and write. No, that's not my story. I make my story. And you're trying to say something that never happened. Like, freedom of speech. No, Albanese's not our government. He can't put in any false laws because he doesn't even follow the original laws, alright? Like treason. He's bringing terrorists into our country. Treason, corruption, he's not a government. That's how the law works, but they're trying to avoid that. They don't want to do that. They want to play their game. And that's the thing with the narcissists. They have a game and they change the rules until they win. So, yeah. Anyway, at the end of the day, I'm out. That's all done. And, yeah, there is going to be vengeance for the lost people. All the suffering my people had. Yeah. I will get you. At this time? Nah. I'm still a disabled man. I can barely mop my floors, let alone fucking go for a run. Like that's the reality at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what someone says. I could stand up here and tell you I'm going to murder fucking 50 billion children. But at the end of the day, the reality kicks in, and if I was going to do anything like that, I wouldn't be able to. Okay, so they're the facts, and this is the point of the narcissistic agenda. Their feelings overview facts, overview logic, overview reality. Okay? That's mental health, and it's being pushed. So, yeah, no legal system, no government. It doesn't exist anymore because it doesn't work for both genders. It only goes for the narcissistic agenda. Once again, I'm done. I'm out. I'm not going to hurt anyone. I'm going to save everyone. But that's the agenda, see? They're so insecure and mentally unstable. Everyone's going to get them because all they did was attack everyone all their life. So they're waiting for the retaliation. Because look, at the end of the day, if I punch you in the face, you're going to punch me in the face. You're not going to let me punch you in the face for no reason. And if you do, there's something wrong. You're not designed like that. No, I've got to go. I'm talking too much. Alright, peace out. Enjoy.